Hello, class. It's Mr. K, the life skills guy, and I'm here to talk to you today about trolling. Now, I've had a lot of requests about bullying, and it's a little bit of a different topic. I'm going to start with trolling. And really, the difference between bullying and trolling is that bullying is threatening you. If you feel threatened, if somebody says something or does something physically to threaten you, that's bullying. What trolling is basically teasing. Trolling is teasing. What it's trying to do, the person that's trolling, is trying to get a reaction out of you emotionally where you're angry, where you get angry and get upset. And you might ask yourself, why would someone do that? What would be the purpose of trying to make people mad? Well, the reality of it is that there are people that really don't feel great about themselves. Now, you do not have any control over how other people feel. That's something that you do not have control over, you do not have power over. And people who tend to think positively about themselves and about the world tend to treat people well. They tend to see, like my last video, about what you pay attention to, what you feed with your attention. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, there are people who have a negative view about themselves and a negative view about the world. And unfortunately, hurt people tend to hurt people. And the way that you treat people a lot of times is how you feel about yourself. So if you are being trolled by someone, it usually says more, or bullied, it usually says more about the person that's doing it than you. Okay. So if you look at people who are happy and kids who are happy, they don't mind other people being happy. We have some kids here at Disneyland and they're having a great time. So they see somebody walk past them and they're smiling and having an ice cream cone and everything's fine. Everything's great. They want everyone to be happy because they're happy. And that's that sunny side of the brain. Unfortunately, there are people who are in bad places in their life for whatever reason, and you do not have control over that. That's the important part. Now, you can feel bad for them. You could have what's called compassion. That means like a loving understanding. But you have to understand that if somebody were to walk into this kid who may not be having the best day with an ice cream cone with a big smile on their face, they might want to just wipe that ice cream cone right out of their hand because that's how they're feeling. And you want to feel, there's a saying that means misery loves company. Now, we don't want anybody to be miserable, but we also don't want to be their company. Now you might ask, well, Mr. K, so how do they operate? How do they make people mad? What's their strategies? Well, this is what happens really. They're really going to bait you. They're going to bait you with something that's going to try to get you mad. And when they put the bait out there, it's really important that you don't bite because that's exactly what they're looking for. Your anger, your frustration, all of your negative emotions really give them a sense of power because they feel like they have a sense of power over you, which isn't necessarily a good feeling, but at least it's better than feeling bad about yourself to have a sense of power. Like, I'm so important, I can control other people's emotions. And they can't because you're in charge of your emotions. So you do not take the bait. So you might say, well, Mr. K, how do I not take the bait? How do I not get trolled? Well, here's my advice. Here's my trolling prevention guide. Okay. The first thing is to consider the messenger. Okay. Basically, if somebody comes up to you and they say something about you, they say you're stupid or they say you're ugly or whatever, the first question is, what is the messenger like? Who's giving the message? I mean, do they know you well? If somebody walks up to you and called you a lunchbox, would that hurt your feelings? No, because of course you don't know you're a lunchbox and you would think this person has no idea what they're talking about. Well, a lot of trolls will just say really foolish things that don't make any sense whatsoever, but we take them personally because we just think that they're right. Well, do they know us well? Do they know anything about us? How important is that message? And the next question is, are they friendly most of the time? I mean, the person that comes up to you and calls you a name, I mean, are they the one that's walking around the playground and just basically picking on everyone? Well, if they are, it's pretty difficult to take that message seriously because they're probably saying it to everyone and trying to see who's going to take the bait, right? The next one, which is really important, is consider the nature of the message. That means, why is this message being given to you? Is it intended to help you or hurt you? If somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, Chris, you have ketchup on your shirt," that's not trolling me. They're giving me advice and that I have ketchup on my shirt and I might avoid embarrassment. But if they're coming up to me and they're saying something that's going to hurt my feelings, then there is no purpose in that message whatsoever. And I have to look at that right away and say, oh, that's a hurtful message. I choose not to accept it. It's basically garbage. And I don't want to take other people's garbage. Now, it's too bad that they have it. Okay. I can feel bad about that. But I don't have to take their garbage, which is basically pain, which is basically hurt. And then who is the message serving? Now, as I said before, a lot of trolls, they feel really powerful because they can get people mad. They have this ability to get under people's skin, to get on their nerves, as they say, and to really control people's emotions. Well, if you see that they're trying to intentionally hurt you or irritate you or annoy you, you can take that power away from them. And you might say to yourself, well, okay, so what's my strategy? Well, here it is. First of all, think about the messenger and the message. It's that simple. Is the messenger somebody you can trust? Is the message something that's intended to help you? If both of those are no, I don't trust the messenger, I don't trust the message, here's what you do. You act. And the first thing that you do, now in person, it's hard to do this, but you can just walk away. Online, if you're doing social media or anything like that, it's real easy. Now, you should not be on social media if you're a fourth grader, but if you are, okay, let's be realistic here, okay? Just keep scrolling, okay? Now, if somebody walks up to you and says that you're a dummy or that you're ugly or something like that, you can very politely with respect, give them an iMessage. I can see you're upset and I would rather go somewhere else and walk away. Now, what you did is you kept respect for the person. You didn't get involved. You didn't get hooked. And you removed yourself in a peaceful way, which is really the way that we should get in the world. We should stand up for ourselves peacefully with wisdom and with compassion. And that's the ideal. And then if it is really, really on the bullying side of things, I mean, if somebody came up to me and called me a lunchbox, right? I mean, I'd just be like, okay, I could see that you're not in a good mood. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go. Now, if they follow you, or if they continue to tease you, then you definitely report it right away. You definitely report it. If somebody comes up to you and threatens you, if somebody comes up to you and says something really horrific, you report them right away. But you make sure you remove yourself from that situation. Okay, so here's the trolling prevention guide, and this will pretty much work anywhere. Consider the messenger and consider the message, and that's your plan for success. And the most important plan for success is to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you're going to be less likely to believe in other people's opinions of yourself. And I have other videos on my YouTube channel, and I have more content coming up. So keep tuned in. I love all of you deeply, and I really hope we get to see each other soon. Give me a thumbs up, share the video if you appreciate the content, and I will definitely be back soon. Have a good day.